Hey guys, I have my son's food in the oven, so I'll be kind of in and out for a minute. Just giving you a heads up, I will be streaming here in a second, but I have to also listen out for a little beep in the oven. So give me a second and we'll start right up. All right. Right. Quite right. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. And cut the music. That's late. Yes. Yes, sir. It is. I'm an evening streamer. All right. So, what do we got going on here? We have, as we were doing a couple days ago on Tuesday, I believe, we were doing some AI stuff. And what not AI. Oh my God. I really got to get a grip on this. It's instance painting, mesh painter, things like that, things of that nature. What happened was a whole bunch of everything, actually. All my instance, painted stuff disappeared. And it's really important stuff too. Like I had oil here with worms and shit all over the place. It's all gone. It gave atmosphere, right? And it's all just gone. It's disappeared. So today I'll be working on reassembling that stuff as much as I can. And I'll probably do it pretty quick here. It's not going to take me too long, I don't think. But I would like to talk to you guys during that time. Ooh, that flow is just too. It's no good. It's too slow. Too slow of a flow. I think I'd like to get more grass in on this. Reed grass? No. Grass, tall red, nope. Grass, red, nope. Thick grass. Let's go with thick grass here. Kick up our flow. So last time you saw just the screen. This time I kind of arranged everything so it's all in order at least. And or not in order, I should say. More or less, it's on the same screen so you could see it, but it's also very much here. And not. Man, this really lays it down quite fast and thick. A little bigger than I anticipate usually, but that's fine. It's all good in this hood. That's real good. So anywhere where I kind of see grass, I want to put down some grass. That's perfect. That's exactly where I wanted it. And what I have is the random rotation here on Y. So randomly rotates this grass and all this objects and stuff. All right, the corn dogs are done. I'll be right back. All right, sirs, I am back. Oh yeah, back to work. For scale, I like to teleport my guy in and just kind of look around and see how everything looks. Now, also, when you do this kind of stuff, you want to, after maybe hashing out whatever you're doing here with your instance painting, you'll want to actually make it disappear and even make all your assets disappear, invisible. And you'll want to just check your terrain, because sometimes this engine likes to leave blocks of terrain unpainted, and you'll want to fix that. And that's happened to me before. I'm sure it's happened to others as well. So just be aware that that could happen. Painting your instance here will really make things look better as far as the terrain goes. It's not as ugly, because you could only go so far getting the materials down, to be honest. So having this additional grass is really nice. I was playing Final Fantasy 15 yesterday, and I was just kind of looking at their terrain and stuff and how they did stuff in their game. And I thought that they do kind of a better job, but they really just it's kind of basic. You could actually see the seams of where terrains combine and all that stuff, and I was kind of really surprised. Is there a link? Of course there is. Is there a link? Oh, hairy-chested one. If you haven't joined my Discord, do so. That is where I post really unimportant shit, like stream times, or little updates here and there, or just conversation, general conversation. I do like to talk a lot. I talk a lot at work. There's a lot to talk about. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear the audio of the game itself when I play and stuff, like running water and whatnot. I noticed that last time I streamed, the battles were, you couldn't hear anything. So let me know if you guys can hear the game or not. You know, like I don't know if, let's see if I can find a place that makes noise. This rat place maybe over here. Let's play this game. Let's play it. Yeah, you guys could hear that, right? I hope. Kind of barely. I'm going to turn you up just a bit. All right, there we go. Now you guys could hear it a little bit. Now I did go ahead and verify some stuff on this, and one of the things that was happening for some reason, the doors, good, was the, well, it still is happening. It's my OBS for some reason is not thrilled, or the game, that is to say, is not thrilled with my OBS. So it will do these weird skips when I play the game, and it's either Phantom Vision that's causing it or something else. I turned off the look ahead, thinking maybe that would fix it, but it did not. So if there are issues with it, it's probably some other thing, or maybe it's just Slobs itself. Don't really like that name, but you know what? What else are you gonna call it? And Retro Ty, how's it going, man? Sorry I missed out yesterday. I had a graduation to go to and listen to my brother-in-law's speech, which was awesome. Super funny. He's a genius too. So I was gone doing that. Good to go. So this is a problem right here. You know what? I'll put something down right here. Let's see how it looks. That might not look too bad. You know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool, actually. I like it. That's pretty groovy. I kind of like that. I might want to do that everywhere. I think that's neat. Sweet, neat. That is neat. Okay. So I thought you worked from home, Retro. I thought you were doing stuff at home. Did you get a real job for the man? How dare you? I work for the man, and it's great. I've really come into my own here. You work for the man? Unbelievable. Also, congratulations. Working for the man isn't as bad as people think it is. I read an article about Gen Xers being like forgettable or something. You know, I haven't seen anyone else remember like we remember. Pays the bills, man. That's true. Pays the bills. Pays the damn bills. For crying out loud. That's what we want. Like, nobody's gonna remember the crap that, you know, the social media crap that's been going on. Nobody's gonna remember Cash Me Outside girl. I don't even know her name. Who's gonna remember her anyways? Nobody's gonna follow that shit. forgettable. Like, I don't know, forgetful, forgettable. I don't know, but it's like some people, like younger generations, like, oh, who's Kurt Cobain? He's so forgettable. Well, you fucking remember him, and you didn't even grow up during that time. Somehow you know him. So you tell me, Kurt Cobain, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hope you know what I'm saying. Let's get just thick grass. See how that looks. Yes, that's what I want. Let's get ready for some thick grass. I think at this point, because I like this area so much, I'm actually going to beef this up kind of quite a bit. And yeah, this is good. I'm just going to paint a whole bunch of this shit here. I like the 90s, Really anything drastic during Gen X. What do you mean? I mean, Gen X did the whole grunge thing. They reinvented rock and roll. Because it was just like, well, I guess that. I mean, okay, as far as as far as war, well, we had our Gulf War that that was, but that's the thing, that was the best part out of all the wars. That Gulf War was barely shit, and that's is that a bad thing? Is that really such a bad thing? Is war, does a generation really want to be defined by the kind of wars they have? I don't know. I certainly don't like it that we have war. I think war sucks. War ruins people, man. And it does. It ruins perfectly good people, too. And this I know from working in the prison system. Yeah, we did have a movement. We had the grunge movement. We had the rock movement, man. We had Rage Against the Machine. We just, maybe we're more forgetful now. Now we're just forgetful about what we had. And I mean, you're like a late teen, early 20s during this time, right? If I'm guessing your age correctly. So I mean, that was your struggle, man. That was your kind of thing. And we had the same, corporate greed. All that shit was still alive and kicking during that time too. The Clintons were still doing stuff. Bill Clinton and his thing. Yeah, well, that's still Gen X, right? So yeah, you're good. You're solid, man. You were more aware of it than me. I graduated in 2000, so you graduated right around that 91 mark. I'm gonna say 92 mark, 91 mark. So that's when Live came out with Throwing Copper. That's when Nirvana was really big. That's when Kurt Cobain was murdered. And that's when a whole bunch of high school girls, man, cried about it. The attempt on Reagan's life. Yeah. Well, you know who will remember it and has forever remembered? Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump will never be forgotten. One of the greatest movies of the 90s, Forrest Gump. People apologize. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry your hero died, man. You know, it happens, dude. It happens, man. I'm so sorry. So sorry about him, man. Some people think Courtney Love did it, but I don't know, man. I don't think Courtney did it at all. I don't know, but maybe she did. Who knows? Who gives a shit about that? I do like Courtney Love. I like her music. I'm gonna say it, man. I'm gonna admit it. I like her music a lot. There was some fun things that like Marilyn Manson had to say about her, and what's his name, Trent Reznor, you know. But I like her music, man. Can't help it. I like that shit. You know why? Because it's like she was the last. That's it, man. There is like no more mainstream chicks like her. You think it was a suicide? Yeah, you know, I don't know. People think he was murdered. I don't know if he was a suicide or not. Maybe he's just one of those, you know, what's it called? Just really depressed, or just down on his, I don't know. You know, a man who has everything. I guess it's kind of like that guy from that one band that just recently committed suicide. And we've talked about this too. I forgot his name though. Forgettable. And forgetful. Shit, I really did forget his. I don't know his name. I forgot the band name even. I didn't like the band. Very much. I didn't care for it. But he always, you know, he's always like depressed and shit, and he had great success, you know, in his band. So what more could you want, you know? And then all of a sudden he just Dimebag. What a good name, Dimebag. But he had, you know, great success in his career. And still, that wasn't enough. Still, that was, you know, something. And maybe it was enough. Maybe it was too much. Maybe he was so jaded in that, like, because after a while, anything you do is fucking gold. You know, I don't know how to explain that, but once you've reached a certain level of fame, you go and create something, and just your own name, just the name itself is attached to this thing, and all of a sudden people just like clamor for it. And it could be garbage, it could be absolute garbage, and you know, people are still like, oh, this is great. And you know, maybe you don't feel so fulfilled about that. And I don't know, maybe he was just jaded, who knows. Or maybe he was depressed. Maybe, you know, a lot of the stuff that he sang about, you know, and wrote about, just eventually it just didn't it didn't heal him, you know, which sucks, by the way. That sucks. If you're trying to create an outlet, if you're trying to heal yourself, if you're, you know, you have to do something, and it doesn't work, that really sucks to be put in that position. Or not put in that position, but it sucks to experience that. Like, it's not working. Your therapy isn't working, so you turn to less therapeutic or more potent stuff like narcotics. and then that doesn't work, and yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I like living way too much. I love living. I love it. Are you high, man? How could you possibly like living? I love it. One of my favorite things to do, as a matter of fact. Now, I had a question by my wife, and it was actually kind of a interesting question, and she said, and this is kind of a trap question by a wife, by the way. If your wife asks you, if you have a wife, if you have a wife or a significant other that asks you this question, it's a trap, but at the same time should be considered seriously. But the question, to me, she first made a statement. I want to remember my family or everyone, the kids, my husband, everybody forever. And that's what, after I die, that's what I want to do. That's what I hope to do, is remember everyone forever. And she has faith, she's a believer in the afterlife and stuff. And I'm absolutely cool with that. We'll never knock anyone's faith for the afterlife. I believe in some crazy shit. I might spew out here, maybe not. I don't know yet. But anyways, whatever. It's cool with me. But then she turned it around on me and she said, "Do you want to remember us forever?" Right? And I thought about it for a few seconds, and I told her no. I said I would not. And she was kind of like, huh? What? I said, no, I wouldn't. And she was kind of hurt by that, but I had my reason to say that. And the reason is I would never want to remember something I could no longer have. It would be more painful to remember something I could never have. Much more painful. And because you could never go back to that, that life. If it's and she believes in eternity, and I'm like, I would never want to return. I would never. It'll be hell for me to remember what I could never have for eternity. I would rather forget. Man, this is ugly over there. Did you see all that? That's some ugliness. I gotta fix that. So this stuff really covers it up well. This grass and shit. So she's kind of taken aback. She's surprised. Oh, what? But that was honestly, that's how I felt. I would never, and until you've had something taken away from you that you could never have again, it's something that people don't understand. And I do. I've had things taken away from me that I could never have again. And like toys. No, I'm kidding. More important things. And so, just remembering, I think memory in itself is kind of tragic. To have a memory is real fucking tragic. Maybe goldfish have it right. Remember nothing. Just have some sort of idea what you have to do to survive, but remember nothing. Don't get attached to anything. And people become alcoholics because maybe they don't want to remember, and that's not why people become alcoholics, but people choose to stuff their face with alcohol, maybe because they don't exactly want to remember the good shit that they used to have that got taken away from them. And it's tragic. It's just fucking tragedy. And I really, that really gets me in the feels. You know, honestly, stuff like that. Yeah, drown the memories. Exactly. Just get rid of them somehow. I mean, they're nice, but man, and even bad memories, the mistakes people have made can haunt you forever. You know, that's why there's a lot of PTSD, a lot of PTSD guys, all the time, ex-military. Right, and that's another thing, you know. So, don't judge an alcoholic. You know, they've probably had some shit. They might not necessarily be a bum, lazy bum or something. They probably had a pretty rough go at it. For some part of their life. This is kind of not varying in stuff here, but whatever, it's all right. I just want to throw down some grass and shit, so it's not so ugly over here. Got made fun of last time I played, that it was ugly, and I couldn't agree more. It was so disgusting. Just having bare terrain, flat too. That's the other thing. This whole thing area is flat, and maybe I need to, you know, ramp it up here and there. Philosophy is philosophy is something that I do enjoy. I think it's fucking worthless, but I do enjoy it nonetheless. Understanding people is also another thing that I enjoy. I like people's you know just quirks, I guess you could call it. You know, I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, I like it when I run into some cranky guy or something, and he just, you know, hates or whatever, and then I like those kinds of people. Not those kinds, not all of them, sorry. You know, and I'm not like, oh man, you're my best friend. I'm saying, like, it's nice to see somebody that sticks to their convictions, you know, regardless. And I like seeing those super crazy people who are, when they wake up, they're just happy, you know, just for, and you're like, man, did he just do like a line of coke? Did he just bump some hair? What, you know, what's going on? I guess you can't really bump heroin, can you? No, I don't know. Maybe bump some coke. I don't know. But whatever, doesn't matter. You know, I like seeing those people. I like them because right now in this time especially, you don't get a lot of that. You get a lot of like, conform to this or you're gonna get hated on. You know, you're a lot of screaming and yelling about PC, especially now. My God, man, nobody will shut up about being. You know, you have to be politically correct about everything. Jesus, just let people be people, man. People have the right to be people and have difference of opinion. That's kind of the whole point of this whole thing here that we got going on. So I like seeing just different. Now, am I like best friends with racists? No, not at all. I am not at all racist. It pisses me off, but I'm not gonna like, hey man, you shouldn't be racist. I'm not gonna do that. You know what? Because I didn't grow up in their shoes. I didn't grow up in where they are. I don't. That's not me. Will I associate with that? Nah, no way. That's not me. And by associate, I mean like, join their club or whatever. I don't think I've talked about my my views on stuff like that. I don't think I've ever had. Have I, Retro? You've kind of seen this show more than anyone. You've tuned in the most out of anyone I know. But I don't think I have. The my whole take on everything in the world that's going on is you do you. I'm like the man sitting on a mountain watching from afar, seeing what happens. You know, I'm just the guy that looks and just I want to see what happens. I'm not gonna insert chaos anywhere. Some people like to do that. But I'm gonna allow it. You know what I mean? Go ahead, insert that chaos because I am interested in seeing what happens. So, you pretend this is very simplistic, but pretend that you have two warring factions. I'm the guy on top of the mountain just watching them duke it out, just seeing what happens. And then I come down and loot the bodies and then go back up. No, I don't come down. I just keep watching. I like to observe. I'm an observer. If that's a thing, I'm an observer. I will do everything in my power to stay safe and keep my family safe and keep away from the dangers. People would be like, "Oh, you got to fight," and I'm like, "Nope, that's stupid. You're being an idiot if you're like, oh, I'm gonna fight for this. Nope, you're gonna get yourself killed. And then guess how useful you are when you're dead. You're not very useful. So, nope, I don't do that. No thanks. So, and that's my suggestion to people as well. Don't fight for a cause, man. Don't go getting yourself all riled up for something that you don't need to be riled up for. The magicians, they weave their magic through emotion and speech. Man, they got that going on. And magic does exist in the world. It's just not how we see it in video games where you cast fireballs. It is through language. It is through they're casting spells of to get people emotional and riled up and stuff, and so you got to watch out for that. That is not a room. Some people do, but what is progress? What kind of progress are we talking about? Something that's technological progress, and how far do we take it? How much do we need? How much progress can we possibly need? How much stuff do we need? Sitting in the front of the bus. All right. That's one thing. I wouldn't consider that progress. I would just consider that, treating people with respect and dignity. I would call it just common sense as far as that goes. You want to treat people with dignity and as peers in the human race. And I think that it can be done the right way. And it is, there's also a wrong way, of course. I don't know. Like I said, I'm an observer, and maybe I'll take notes, maybe I won't. I would like to pass on some stuff after I've collected a ton of data. What I would love to do is live for about 1,000 years and see all this cycle start a whole new, this whole thing, just start anew and be like, hey, you know what? There's a civilization. Let me tell you about a civilization back in the 90s, starting with the 50s. And of course, they're going to look at me funny. Which 90s? Let's go back to 50 or whatever. Doesn't really matter. Let's talk about what happened. And here are the numbers. This is what happened. This is what worked, and this is what didn't. That's what I'd like to do. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. And it may be the coward's way out, but this coward's alive. Hopefully for a little bit longer. Ooh, some dune grass. That's necessary. Yeah, nothing here survived. There's nothing, man. So reed grass. Let's go and see. Nope, that's not it. Reed grass. Reed grass doesn't look very good. There we go. This kind of stuff looks kind of deserty. Like it kind of belongs. Beach wild rye is really what I would like to put down. Because it's it would be in its natural habitat. Nope, there's a seat there. Let's go right there. If I did have to choose a civil rights kind of movement, I think that what's happening to the Native Americans in this country, in our state, in my state, is a disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. Their land is continuously being taken away. Their rights, all that stuff. It makes me sick that's happening. The Native Americans have had one of the worst hands dealt by the white man. And they're little talked about, very little talked about. And this, at this point, I'd also probably want to mention the Aboriginals in Australia, because it's not just in America that's happening. It's also the Aboriginals in Australia. They finally did an apology, but it's, what the fuck is it worth when they keep doing whatever they're doing? They're still doing what they want to do over there, which is murdering, government sanctioned murder, mind you, in Australia. And I don't agree with it. I don't like that. And I didn't mean to get super heavy into that, but that's one of the things that I absolutely despise about people, about humans, is that ability to hate other humans for no real reason. Is this on a line normal? Is this actually... It looks like it. Or is it kind of... Yeah, it's turning. Okay. And in that sense, I hate the player. And the white man isn't the only man that's racist. There's plenty of that going around with all racists, and it sucks. It's pretty lousy. You go to Japan, and it's incredibly racist over there. Very overtly, not overtly. How do I say it? It's condescendingly. It's just, like, oh, you don't live here. You don't, we don't want you here. And it's more in the country than in the city. Like, you go to Tokyo, it's not like that. It's not as prevalent, but and it's more with the older generation. Just like here, a lot of the older generations that have been raised in the 60s, 50s, that were raised by sheltered kids that were raised by the people in the 50s and 60s. Got a lot of those here. They're 60-year-old racists that are like, man, what are you going on about? And I used to work with a dude that was just like, racial slurs, that was his thing. And he's like, it's no big deal, to him. And I'm like, well, kind of is, kind of is a big deal. We're trying to get rid of that. And we're trying not to talk about it, but you keep bringing it up. That's the deal. You old folks keep bringing it up. Can't you just, do your thing? And now now, like I said, I appreciate the difference there, but I don't subscribe to it, if that makes sense. I think since this blood river here is all bloody, I thought maybe I should put some of this red grass down. But I don't know. Maybe a different kind of grass would also work. Not just... Maybe that one can be normal. Line... I don't know. Don't want to get too heavy on it. I don't want to piss anyone off either, because, well, actually, I don't really care if I piss anyone off. If you're pissed off that I like Native Americans, then you probably shouldn't be in here. And look at me, I'm breaking my own rule too. I have like rules stating like, oh, no political talk or any of that, and here I am, seldomly talking about this stuff, right? This stuff can get ridiculous too, though. Case in point, there was a Twitch streamer. She got banned, or she got soft banned, or whatever, for for cosplaying, and people were like, "Hey, that's blackface. You're blackfacing. You can't do that." Offended, offended, offended. But she was just true to the character, and there's a lot of good arguments on both sides. I thought, again, just here to read the comments. And one that stuck out to me was race is an identity. If you erase race, you don't have an identity anymore. And what she was doing was giving that race an identity, because she could cosplay as the character, but it's just, and somebody else said, well, then it'd just be whitewashing, and not really whitewashing, but just, like, why wouldn't you include the race, right? Being not inclusive of being true to the character, which I agree with. And she, it didn't look like she was blackfacing anything. It didn't look like she was making fun of or disrespecting in any way. And lo and behold, it was a bunch of white people that made the comments, and so overly sensitive on that. And I don't know. I wouldn't want. So I was born in Lithuania, and I wouldn't want to be, if I was a character, I wouldn't want to be, if somebody was like, well, and if, like, let's say I was green, right? Well, I don't want to green face you because that's racist. Well, no, it's not, man. I'm green. That's my color. All right. And it's part of my identity. It's part of that's who I am. As if I was a green Superman, I would want you to be a green Superman if you're cosplaying me, right? Because that's my identity. You're not going to dress up as Dragon Ball Z, that green thing, whatever. You're not going to not be green. Nobody will know who the fuck you are if you're not green. So, yeah. I don't like the whole melting pot, but for different reasons. There's some talk of the melting pot around. Oh, it's they're trying to get rid of white people. Nah, man, that's not what that. No, I don't like the melting pot because it gets rid of culture. It erases culture. It erases what people do. It's if we had the great melting pot of everyone, there's no more Japanese culture. You don't know, and how do you really know whether it's Japanese anymore? There's no Indian culture. There's no culture. There's just not. There's just one thing. And this one language, this one, thing of one, and really, that's not an identity anymore. That's really not. It's erasing everything, and I wouldn't want that for anyone. I wouldn't want anyone to come home to and like, where do I belong, man? Where are my roots at? Well, you don't really have roots anymore. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because I like culture a lot too. I love culture. I like different cultures a lot. I think there are things that make us, that unify us. Absolutely. We could all speak to one another. Absolutely. Do I want everybody to be the same? No, hell no, man. I don't want everybody to be the same. I want everybody to be different. I don't want to look at the same chick. I don't want to look at the same dude. You know? I mean, how many... and this is like super shallow terms, but how many actors and actresses are out there that look freaking identical? They look the same. How many Instagram, different planets? Man, I don't think that's going to happen. Ever. We're never going anywhere. But anyways, how many... There's too much of the same everywhere. And you really... things get lost. Things get really, really lost. You think we'll cease to... Well, eventually this planet will die, and, not in our lifetime, but eventually the sun will get too hot, or, swallow us up, or too cold, or something like that. Something will happen, yeah. Eventually. That's bound to happen. Not going to deny that. There are people out there that want to keep this whole thing going, humanity going, for an indefinite amount of time. Well, good luck, man. We, will naturally die out. It's going to happen. Can't help it. Wow, so that's all good. That's all done. I'm going to bring up the old resource manager. See some resources I could put. Are there rocks? Rock? Things that I could use as a thing that I could put down, but like pebbles or some shit. Earth, plastic. You know what I mean? So this is kind of small. This is not bad. Condensed rock, earth, condensed rock. That's a skill though. It's an effects. And I'm not like super into putting down effects rocks, but there are some rocks that work actually pretty well, but I don't like... This is pretty good. They're just small little rocks. It's pretty small. Let's put it in our thing here. At least I think it's small. How small is it? Let's check it out. Let's go to a place where we could put it, like right here. Yeah, that's pretty tiny. Yeah, that's not bad. I'll go with that. Okay. Some grassy rock. Yeah, let's put that in there. Could be on the outskirts of stuff. But anyway, that is the only reason I would not want the melting pot. That's the only reason. Because I want to preserve as much culture as possible, like in Star Trek. Just appreciate what's going on. And that's what makes me angry about human beings is they want to take over or kill it or blend it or mix it. And this is all throughout history. This is exactly what happened. Going back to the Great Fertile Crescent, across the river over there, they worship different gods than us. Well, how do we take over? Well, we assimilate, or they assimilate to us. We give them, we keep their god, but we also introduce our god, or make that push pull thing. And so instead of one God, hey, why not have two gods? It's like oh, you get the benefit of worshiping a wheat god and a river god. Isn't that great? And that's what happened. And so there was no just understanding of people, and it's so ingrained in us to not understand each other, to not respect one another, which I think is fucking ridiculous. It's amazing how ridiculous it is, and why that's not, why that's not even like mentioned. How, understanding is just not there. Don't people realize? Don't people realize that that's what we've been doing for thousands of years, tens and thousands of years. We've just been conquering, or blending, or just doing this thing where we're trying to melt it all together. Well, obviously it doesn't work. Just let people be, man. Just have a respect for what's going on. I would love to live in Japan as Japan is. I would love to visit Japan as Japan is, not as anything else. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to. Sucks being the only one that feels this way. It really does. All right, so we got this over here. Let's go with a couple of these little guys here. See what we could throw down. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, I like this. Align normal? Sure. And let's do all sorts of rotations. All sorts of weird ones. All sorts of different sizes. And lay it on kind of thick here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, look at that rubble, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you create rubble. Maybe I should incorporate that into my mod here. The whole basis of understanding, just that thought process going, like where people are like, they run into a people and they're like, oh, why would you, can't you just, instead of eliminating us, why can't you just let us be, man? Have that moral high ground, I guess. I don't know. Is it that difficult for us as human beings? I wonder. Is that what's going on? Is it just so fucking hard to leave each other alone and to just let us worship who we worship and just let us do what we do, man? Chris Cornell. Has he been preaching that stuff? I hope so. Or are you talking about like somebody that's influential from the 90s, or is that something he sang about at one point? Chris Cornell? He is? Really? From Soundgarden? Are you sure? I thought he was still alive. I thought he was fairly well and alive. Are you sure? Chris Cornell? He committed suicide? I thought it was the guy from I can't remember. Like, what? I uh no, that's not who I was talking about. I was talking about no, not the guy from Inks. Chris Cornell died? Holy shit. I thought he was still alive. Holy shit. Honestly did. Every time I thought of Chris Cornell, though, I always thought of, I'm not gonna lie, Tony Stark. Holy shit. And not Robert Downey Jr. I'm talking about Tony Stark. I always envisioned Chris Cornell as Tony Stark. Oh, man. Chris Cornell, huh? I wasn't really big into Soundgarden, so that didn't affect me that much. I mean, I like Soundgarden, but... are you sure, man? Chris Cornell. Damn. Yeah, it's the guy, man. Da, 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 da. But in the end, it didn't really matter. That guy. I tried so hard, but not so far. I don't know the lyrics, but that song. That guy. That band. Well, now I don't even know. Did he die? I have no idea. Now I'm kind of curious myself, man. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. I guess in the end, it really doesn't matter. Some chick I knew was really like super hurt about that. She was a huge follower. I don't know the band name though. I can't remember. I can't recall the band. I mean that gives you an indication of how much I listened to them, which I didn't. Linkin Park, yes, thank you. Save for the save. Yes, Linkin Park. Linkin Park lead singer, yep. I believe he committed suicide. But now I'm not sure. So you got to look it up. You got to Google it, man. If it's not night time for you yet. Oh no. I'm sorry, man. Hey, listen, if you need to go ahead. If you need to go to sleep, that's fine. I don't want to keep you, man. I'll be doing this for a little bit here, so it's not a big deal. I'm always interested in chatting, so. Well, do me one favor. Check out check out real quick if it is in fact the Linkin Park guy or not, and then I shall release you from duty of whatever duty. All right. I hope that YouTube doesn't flag me for copyright infringement on that song that I just poorly hummed. Bennington was found dead in his home in Palos Verdes Estate, California. His death was ruled a suicide by hanging. Yeah, hung himself. So, and that to me is like, over, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's not like I sang it so well. It's just really like, they're like, whoa, dude, nope, can't be doing that. Copyright. Hanging is kind of one of those things where it's like, well, suspicion is kind of weird there. I can't. Gunshot, different. Hanging. Can you hang somebody? I don't know. Can somebody hang themselves? Yeah. I don't know why I would go out that way, to be honest. I wouldn't want to go out hanging. That's not as quick of a death as people think. You could survive for a long time if you don't do it right. You could sit there and suffocate slowly. You could break your trachea and still breathe, and suffer for a long, long time. You could swallow a bunch of blood. It could be very, very bad if you do it wrong. You could also do a blood choke, but you could still be breathing, but you're doing a blood choke, and but it's enough to pass out, but not enough to kill you. And so somebody could come by and be like, oh, he's still alive, weak pulse. You could wake up with a bunch of brain damage. I had a really sad story happen in prison today. I read a dude's file, and it's just fucking tragic. And that's the downside of my job is times I have to read files. I have to read not only files, but the case details to get other details, and it's just tragic. And yeah, so what was me, man? Actually, got to tell my wife when she gets home, because I like sharing tragic tales with her. She does it with me with students all the time. She tells me about the students who have it rough. Which incidentally, we have a lot of students here that you would be surprised how many are homeless, how many don't have access to clean water, things like that, especially here. And and they make their way, and they still come to school, because that's really the only thing they have left as a sanctuary. You'd also be surprised how many of those students treat school like shit. It's their last place of warmth, last place of food, and they completely shit all over it. You'd expect 100% of students to be like, hey, this is my home, or something, but there's that really strange 1% that absolutely just shits on it. And I don't know, maybe that's our fault as a society too. At any rate, you have a good night, sir. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bang you in the butt unless you like it. That's acceptable. Not that there's anything wrong with that. See, 90s gave us Seinfeld, dude. The 90s gave us Seinfeld. And, you know, that's what we have. So I'm pretty thrilled about that. Just that alone is fucking great. Anybody that harps on the 90s, just gonna say, yeah, well, we have Seinfeld, so go fuck yourself. It was. Not all of it was great, but, you know, most of it was. I liked most of it. There are some seasons I'm like, the last season, you know, kind of strange, but most of it was good. Here's where we're going to really get interesting results here, and this is where I'm going to start putting in others as well. Align normal, true, flow, pretty high. Let's see what happens when we just do that. No, I don't like that. Let's go with this. No, let's just do a rotation instead. Always scale min, not scale max, because I don't want there to be any weird stretching of textures. So if you notice, just doing a random Y will keep those rocks flat to the surface, and it just really breaks up the texture material on the surface here. Adds a lot of good stuff here. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Blend it in with your surfaces here, and then after I'm done with this, I'm going to do a little thing called get rid of duplicates, and it will clean it up nicely. It'll make nice cool little gaps here and there, and all that stuff. Yep, just tripping hazards all over the place here in the barracks. Just like, leave the rocks. Don't worry about them. That doesn't make sense. Somebody would clean that up, right? Nope, I don't like that. But yeah, it really breaks up the stuff here. Okay, so you scroll down all the way down here and just go to remove duplicates, bam, and it'll remove anything that's super duper similar. We don't want that. And then we got a church here. I'm going to put in some of that same thing here because it matches the walls. And break up this flooring just a bit. Especially right here. Because we got some damaged walls. So try to do it around areas that make sense, like damaged walls. It's nice to have there. Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's put some down there, shall we? Let's put some lava rocks down there and sand rocks. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. Random, flow high. Flow high. Align to normal. Yes, please. All right. Maybe I don't like it. Let's see. You know what? I probably will like it. It's probably going to look all right. But it kind of looks checkerboardish. So maybe just get rid of this sand one. Because the lava one is looking pretty good just down here by itself. It's already dark. Nice and dark. And yeah. Oof. I did not hit this room at all. Chateau, what's up? I did not. I did not. You know why? I pushed out, man. Oh, you know, I actually didn't even test it. I think what I was missing, honestly, was just an engine restart. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say I was missing an engine restart, and that's what I needed to do. And I just didn't test it because I didn't have any time yesterday. I was at a graduation, if you were listening. For God's sakes, man. And I like how sometimes I click, I get like 1 or 2, and then sometimes I click, I get like 80. Yes. At any rate, so I actually didn't even go back to it yet. Didn't even look at it yet. But I do want to get it fixed. It is on the agenda, so to speak. You're just like, you know, why say bye? Just why? He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He's not gonna be brokenhearted about me, Chateau, leaving. Next time you say fucking bye, all right, sir? You say it. Just fucking courtesy, man. Common fucking courtesy. That's all I ask for. And here I am, like, ironic. I'm not bitter. I'm not fucking bitter. Anyways, let's get some happy bushes up in here. Maybe. I love you guys. You guys are great. You know why? Because you let me do whatever the fuck I want. That's why. But I don't do whatever I want. I do what I need to do. I do what I need to do. I do what must be done. Damn it. Shut up, damn it. My favorite shut-ups comes from Captain Picard, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. He's talking to somebody, and he's just like, "Shut up, damn it!" That's great. Oh, another thing the 90s gave us. Another great thing that the 90s gave us. Star Trek The Next Generation. Also gave us Voyager. Not as good. Utter shit, actually. But The Next Generation was fantastic. And mind you, and this is going to be a little controversial. I might get a little bit of resistance here, but mind you, the even better of the two series, not better of the two, but the better of the series, the Star Trek series, Stargate 9. No, that's not God damn it. Shit, I'm getting my shit confused. Deep Space Nine. God damn it. Stargate, SG-1, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, two different shows. Also from the 90s and phenomenal. SG-1 was great. Fight me. I will fight you on that. I will fucking fight you. Good. That's right. Because SG-1, man, nobody disrespects that show. And also Stargate. God damn it, not Stargate. Deep Space Nine. Yeah, okay. Star Trek started in the 60s, but and you know what? Granted, the original Star Trek actually was good. I liked it, and I liked the movies too. I actually believe that the original Star Trek movies were miles ahead of the Next Generation movies. I did not like any of the Next Generation movies. I just didn't like them. They just weren't good. They were not. However, I think all the Star Trek movies are pretty good. I liked all of them. The first one is a toss-up with a lot of people. I still prefer the first one over this is D&D because this is the Pyramid of Shadows, sir. Shadzar. This is a D&D mod. A module, I should say. A recreation. Tell me where things belong. I know where things belong. Fight me. I dare you. I will fisticuff that. But at any rate, this is the Pyramid of Shadows D&D module, fully playable on right now on Steam. And yes, it's multiplayer. And yes, you could DM it. Yes, you could do all that. So, yep. Also, that was an empty threat. Please, Shadzar, don't fight me. You'll kick my ass. I'm a pushover, dude. I have a reported for scam, spam, and other malicious, misleading metadata, intentional miscategorization. Roles? What is that? What are you talking about? Roles? What is that? I hope you're serious. I do. I really do. What's a dice roll? But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Star Trek. We're talking about Star Trek. Dice rolls. The first movie, I didn't mind. Wrath of Khan was phenomenal. I loved Wrath of Khan, which also leads me to the current movie that J.J. Abrams, sack of shit, remade. Basically flipped it and reversed it. I hate that shit. I hate it so much. Hate it so much. J.J. Abrams is a sham. I'll say that to anyone's face. I'll say it to his face, and I will fight him in the octagon. I will fight J.J. Abrams in the octagon. I will give me 3 months. I will build it up. I will get back into Taekwondo. I will get my shit back up just to fight J.J. Abrams so I could punch him square in the face and say, your movies suck. I do not like that guy. Do not like him as a director. A writer. Sorry. Director, he's all right as a director. Too many lens flares, but as a writer, he too much ripping off his stuff, man. Nope. Not going to happen. I'm on to him. I'm on to that guy. I'm on to you, JJ. I'm on to you, buddy. You better hide. You better run. And if you want to fight me, I'll fight you. I guarantee it. Now, if you're going to win, that's fine too. But I'm still going to get to tell you that your movies suck. That he's a hack, man. He is a hack. All right. At any rate, Wrath of Khan was good. And the reason Wrath of Khan was good is because Khan and Kirk never meet. They never see each other. Throughout the whole entire movie, they never, ever see their face, like face to face. They don't ever meet to beat each other, right? It's all that intellectual game. You know, it's just that thing. And that's one of the best parts of the movie is that they never, ever see face to face. And that's what's frustrating about Wrath of Khan. Is because of that. And JJ missed the whole entire point with the Kobayashi test. He missed it completely. You're supposed to lose. You're supposed to lose something. You're supposed to, and this, of course, goes back to the conversation I had earlier with loss and how, you know, dealing with something that you can never have, you know, remembering that kind of thing. You're supposed to, it's how you deal with loss. It's how you deal with not having, you know, everything. It's how you go out, man. Are you going to go out with a whimper? Or are you going to go out with a bang? Which one are you going to do? You know, that's the test. J.J. Abrams, in his stupid new wave of bullshit, completely missed it, man. He missed the mark. Now I'm all pissed off. No, I'm not really. But damn it. He had the opportunity. He really did. He had the opportunity to make something great, and he didn't. And he didn't. He could have redeemed his name. The only movie that I liked that J.J. Abrams has ever made was Mission Impossible 3. That's it. That's all. That's it. Everything else that man makes is garbage. Pure fucking nonsense. So, yeah. No thanks, JJ. Move right along, man. Mr. Abrams. Anytime I meet somebody that's like, oh, I really like J.J. Abrams' work. Whenever I meet anybody that's like, I really liked Lost, I'm like, Lost. Gets me so riled up, that show. I hate Lost. And it's not like one of those like, oh, you must have loved it and hated the ending or something. No, I never watched it. because I knew what it was about. It lost. It was all is J.J. Abrams. As soon as J.J. Abrams was involved, and like, yep, he's gonna do the same thing as he did with Alias. He's gonna ruin that shit. He's gonna just have the way they made that. You motherfucker, you son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding. The way they did that show, Lost, Alias, was they would write the show, they would write the episode, and then they would leave 4 possible endings. They would just go with a loose string theory, just a loose string stuff that just, and they'd choose one and they'd go off of that. And that was it. They didn't have a plan. There was no real concrete story. It was just kind of like this, yeah, whatever, man, whatever goes, So, yeah, no, man. J.J. Abrams can go, yeah, I don't want to condemn the man to anything, but, I just want to expose him for the fraud that he is. Just, he's a fraud. He's a fraud. I hope that somebody here knows J.J. Abrams and gets him into this chat so I could tell him, you're a hack. I would be happy. I'd be happy with that. I would like to see his rebuttal. Well, his rebuttal would probably be like, what have you done with your life? Be like, dude, I've built the Pyramid of Shadows. Digitized it, my friend. Except for Lost. Lost was stupid, dude. They did the same thing as Alias. It's the same shit. He did the same stuff. Now, granted, it wasn't just him. There was, he had writers, but it was all writers of the same mentality. They were all doing the same thing, the same kind of bullshit, and so J.J. Abrams said, all right, for the fight? Is that what he said? Alias, it's I think the first show he did, it's kind of what got his name on the radar. He's one of those artists that's a con artist. Like, I don't want to say like con artist, like, oh, I'm gonna trick, but he's like a fake artist, that paints a painting or something, and then like tries to pass it off as like some great masterpiece or something. That's what he is. He's a fraud. He's a hack. I will continually use that. So, Chato, yeah? Abrams is down for the Octagon fight, or is he just saying, okay, that he's a fraud, that he's, yeah, I know. You're not telling me anything new, brother. I fucking know. And I fucking knew it. No, I don't like that at all. For any new viewer out here, I apologize if you like Lost. I apologize. I'm sorry. But there are better shows out there, man. You're missing out. You're missing out on good shows like Travelers. That was a good show. That's still a good show. It just massive plot twist on that show. All right, Traveler, and this is a Netflix original, by the way. There's some, if you guys have seen any Netflix original, I'm really impressed with some of the Netflix originals. I really am. I'm obsessed with Travelers. It's got Eric McCormick in it. He's Will and Grace. If you've ever seen Will and Grace, that's Will. He's good in that show. Yeah, you son of a bitch. What did you say? Whoa, that is too much slate. Let's see what else. There's a good show that came out. The Colony. I thought that was a good show. If you want to see something like Lost, watch The Colony. That's a good show. That's a damn good show. But that's not a Netflix original. I think that's an FX thing original. But that's a really good show. I love Colony. The Colony is really good so far. What else? What the fuck else is out there? What else? Whoa, calm down. Yeah, you do. You need to go to bed, man. Thanks for staying up as nope, don't even, dude. Don't even do it. Don't do it, bro. I know what you're gonna fucking get lost. I knew it was coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I will see you another day, another dollar. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on stream. Chatting it up. Always a pleasure. I like my hardcore viewers, man. There's a subscriber, man. He subscribed and never got his I never got his address. I want to send him he or she, I don't know. Subscribe, but I never got their address, so I could send him a sticker. I do have for subscribers, I have stickers. And I never got an address, so kind of bummed, man. Sent him a private message and everything, and no response. I would love to. So if you're somehow come across the stream and you're like, you know, wondering what's up, well, dude, I'm trying to get a hold of you so I could send you a sticker, man. So come on, bro. And I got a special one this month. It's a good one. I designed it, and some of my folks have already received it, and they're thrilled with it. And it's a vinyl sticker. It's weatherproof. Okay, let me back it up. Nothing's weatherproof. Nothing's truly weatherproof. But it is a weather resistant. It's a vinyl. You can put it on your car, your ass, your face. Doesn't matter where you put it. It'll stick. Well, it does matter where you put it. Don't put it on your ass or your face. That's a disrespectful way to treat a sticker. You know, and put it on your water bottle. Put it on your laptop. You know, if you like it enough. But that's kind of what it's for. You know, so. If you get around to watching this, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you so I could give you some. A little some. You know what I mean? Which is a sticker. That's what I mean. All right. Where were we? Oh. Okay. Back to Star Trek. Deep Space Nine. I will argue that is one of, if not the best Star Trek series, the best Star Trek series there is. Deep Space Nine. And at first, I didn't really care for it. At first, when I was younger, I didn't really care too much about it because I liked the aspect of exploration, going out to find something. But with Deep Space Nine, things come to you. And you have the station that, you know, there's the huge freaking station with, hey, lo and behold, a whole bunch of cultures intermingling, right? Love that. Love that about that show. Yeah, just Cisco, great actor that played Captain Sisko. One of my good friends, he's like, he didn't really like the beginning episodes because it was just Sisko's son running around getting into trouble. But I like that. That kind of gave you a perspective of the station. I like that a lot. The relationship with his son and I wanted to say Kardashians. Oh my God. The word has slipped my mind. Not is it Ferengi? I think it is the Ferengi. The Ferengi boy. Is it the Ferengi? There's the Ferengi and the something else. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. But the relationship between those two kids, and they wanted, them wanting to join the thing, the place that that everybody's a part of, the Federation. I thought that was cool, and that's another thing is, you have everybody serving on board all the Star Trek ships, and guess what? Doesn't happen. You don't get the melting pot. You do get understanding. You do get a kind of understanding of culture, and that ability to visit other cultures, alien cultures especially. And that's kind of what Star Trek was about too, which I like, But Deep Space Nine, I will argue, is the best. It is the best series out there. A little long in the intros, but all of them kind of are. All of them kind of were long. But that's kind of 90s for you anyways. That was the thing with the 90s. So Chato, if you're still here, we were talking about what the 90s gave Gen Xers and everybody, to be honest, everybody. What the 90s gave everyone. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, Revolution to Rock, grunge, Seinfeld, SG-1, Star Trek Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine, of course. And much more. We haven't even touched on the forgotten stuff yet, which I will get to if I remember. As more things come up, I'm trying to design and think at the same time here. If you've ever played this module, you might know what this is. You might not, but this is oh, you know what? I don't know if this is part of the module, if I created this. No, this is the Lost Village, and this is something that's going on here. Yes, and then there's a couple of things that I had to adjust, which there is there was a door that had the 3 tests, and I kind of had to build a new kind of thing with it, and I'm not going to really go into that. There's the guards, the dragon guards. The dragon is in here, so it's all kind of visualized. I'm trying to create a nice thing so people could see how this stuff comes together. Let's go with a different slate here. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, this is better. More random. I want random kind of crap going on. Got a little email Aroni here. If that guy was for real, and he had reported me, this would make it 2 times that somebody has reported me for being in the wrong category. I will argue to the law on this category thing pretty hard. It is whatever, not what you feel, but definitely what applies the most. This is not Divinity Original Sin 2. There is absolutely no Divinity Original Sin 2 gameplay here whatsoever. Little assets. I mean, there's assets from the game, but there is no story, no game of Divinity Original Sin 2. It is actually unrelated to Divinity Original Sin 2. In fact, it more has to do with Dungeons and Dragons than Divinity Original Sin 2. Because this is in fact a D&D module that I'm creating. So there. Dude that may or may not have actually reported me. And to the people that this goes to, I guess, I don't know. The reports go to? Who do the reports go to? When somebody reports somebody, who looks at the reports? Investigate the reports. The reporters. No, the investigators. Okay, this is... Nope, not there. Now, what I am using is the Divinity engine to make this. And that is free for anyone to use that has Divinity Original Sin, that owns the game. And this is a oh man. Let me try that again. Developmental toolkit for anyone to use to create whatever they want. Now, if I was making a Star Trek campaign, I would put this into Star Trek of some sort. But I'm not, because this is a D&D campaign. Now that I've run this into the ground, let's continue talking about whatever. So what I'm doing now is kind of just breaking up the textures. They're already kind of broken up. They look pretty decent to me. Let's take a look through character's eyes here. That's good. Okay. And I just want to get rid of any sort of patterning, any of that. looks good. Now I gotta also paint on the I wish that the cat, and I'm gonna go back to the category thing. I wish that the categories did have like creator category or mod category. That would be fantastic. That'd be great. I would love that. But alas, no such category exists yet. Okay, that's done. That's done. This is done. This is done. Floor 2 is not as big. It's actually quite a bit smaller than floor 1. What did this wall get moved? I think it may have gotten moved a little bit, a smidgen, or maybe just the texture paint got moved a little bit. Okay. This is the old Sanctuary of Light here. And I kind of had to do some tricky stuff because there is 3 doors, and I kind of wanted people to not have access to these regions until, you know, stuff happened. And I did add some of my own stuff to this as well, but I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit cleaner. Maybe I'll put some slates down here, but not very many. This is a pretty clean area. So let's, whoop, there we go. That's perfect. The rock's already kind of there. You know, it's pretty massive. But this, I don't know how many people will utilize the space as far as Battlefield goes. If you don't know anything about it, you have Karavakos, who essentially just has a whole bunch of his own shards and shadows everywhere around the Sanctuary of Light. And you have to beat all of them for Karavakos to become mortal, or to become something that you could actually hurt. And so that's where that's coming from. And I think that the game calls for, or the module calls for, I want to say 9, but I had to increase that number because 9 was too little. 9 is too little for a 4-person party. Maybe there's 9, but maybe I had to just increase their level. But what happened? What ended up happening is I went into, because when I play tested, I went through here, and you got 2 guys here. They see you right away, and you don't really get to this part. You don't really get inside here. Most of my battle took place right here. Another way you can go is to here, and when that happens, most of the battle happens in here. So, and outside of those 2 rooms, you don't really do much more. You don't split up. You don't go somewhere else. You don't do anything. But you can if you're gonna play it like a D&D thing. But what happens is the enemies don't play like D&D. Unless you're GMing this, they don't play nicely. They will attack you one by one, and they'll kill you one by one. So that's the only downside, is that they won't necessarily go after a split off group. They might, but they probably won't. they'll probably just kill whoever's right there. All right, next thing is paint surfaces, and I want to paint some oil right over here. And let's see, I want some cursed oil. And the reason I do that, nope, let's do this. And the reason I do that is because it's got the worms. And this is kind of a throwback to Prometheus slash what is it called? Aliens. And this is, so these guys are all like just worms, these primordial goo worms. And so I thought cursed was pretty good because it had these little worms inside of it. So that worked out for me pretty well. Next thing here is instead of cursed, let's go regular and paint in this stuff here. This is going to be a little trickier because there's a bunch of instant paint stuff here already. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is hide it all so we can't see any of it. And then go back to the iGrid panel and paint it. Paint what I want. And what I had before I lost everything, I did have this circle that went all the way around. And this is one of the coolest effects that you could have in this is how things react. And so off of this circle, I'd have more stuff, and this all plays like a domino effect kind of thing going on. So just gonna branch it out kind of like lightning, and I try not to cross into any other ones, so it all goes kind of in their own directions. And this is truly one of the most like amazing spectacles of a room. It really is. It's nice. Everything that happens here is nice for viewing pleasure. Right, so just like that. It flows like electricity, but it's not electricity, which is great. It's fire. So this is oil. It's flammable, as you know what oil does. You know, it's flammable, and you could catch the stuff on fire, and the show really starts when that happens. This is when some cool stuff happens. If you've ever been in this room in my beta playthroughs, you would have seen how cool this looks, because it all just explodes. Everything kind of explodes, and it goes very linearly, and it's just really awesome. It looks great. One of my favorite things that happens here. Now, I don't want to connect any one of them because I want it to start from one point and then just kind of travel around, and that's what you get to see is the extent of the damage. And then you get a little hint of it here. By hint, I mean massive hint of it here. You eventually do have to cross it, though, so you get slowed down. And this is kind of where people, well, you know what? I'm not going to cross it. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is make it kind of a maze, so people have to go around this way to enter. Just kind of have a little bottleneck. Yeah, just like that. All right, so Paint a little more so it doesn't fizzle out. I think it should carry over pretty well. And then the next thing I want to do is webs. So these webs are a pain in the ass, and they're meant to be a pain in the ass. They're going to be something that holds the player. They're kind of just everywhere as well. And they're going to be hidden because of where they're located. And it's frustrating to get through this room. But it's also beautiful. This is a really fun fight. One of my favorite fights happens here. And I hope people that play this absolutely enjoy it, because it is a very fun fight. That's kind of why I made this. It's to be enjoyable anyway. Okay, so here we go. And so the only way really down there is there's 4 corners that you could go down. Actually, you could go down any way you want. Just down the slopes you go. And you could, go for it. This is called the well. This is the well area. And I had to kind of adjust it a little bit, but from the module, but it's all right. It's still good. Not much happening over here aside from no walking zones, which I need to paint. Paint movement, block movement. I'm going to make this big because I want to block a whole bunch of movement. Especially right up here. I don't want people to walk up here and enjoy the sights. This is supposed to be an illusion, all this. And so I want to maintain that illusion by not allowing players to walk up here or teleport or any of that. So I don't want them to see the garbage that's behind this stuff. Okay, that's all good. Oops, let's get rid of that. That's all good. If people want to go drown in the water, they can. I'm not going to paint around it. I'm not going to restrict their movement in here, because if they fall off or something, they should be able to have a way to come back up. So I'm not going to do any of that there. This place didn't really have any sort of hazards or anything either. This place, the only thing that this has is surface paint poison, and that's it. And that's this little area right here, this little big area of water, and that's it. Water is poison. Perfect. Okay. Let's see here. There is I want to say there's blood. No, not blood. Sorry, mud. But that's all like, oh yeah, water. Let's have some water down in certain areas. So I need to see all my triggers for this, because these triggers indicate difficult terrain. And so I kind of want this to be muddy. Muddy area. Okay. I think that'll translate well, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to check after turn that off. Yes, this place is covered in blood. Oh, the fun things we do here. Ha 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 ha. And the blood is flowing from the bones here and into the pit. Some bloody bones, bloody bones. Pool and then go down. Just like so. Really want to emphasize the blood here. If you are a vampire, or sorry, I think it's vampiric touch. No, I don't remember what it is, but it's one of the skills that you get that you can have in the game where you absorb blood and gain health. Probably a good spot for that here. If you know, if you're hurt, which you will be when you get into a fight, but the fight is happens under certain conditions. Conditions have to be perfect. Okay, perfect. Good to go. I'm going to save it here. Takes a while now. Do the same thing here with the blood, and just kind of not as much, not as prevalent, but pool it up in here so it's kind of there, and then go in there. Okay, just have a nice pool of blood everywhere. Yeah, this is the rat room. Okay, and then here I don't really have anything that needs to be addressed except for the paint movement. We're going to allow all this to be moved on because, well, it just frankly needs to be something that is allowed. All right, perfect. And here we don't have anything is also here surfaces are made automatically. Surfaces made automatically. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, here nothing. Got the, I guess I already did that surface. Perfecto, man. Did I get the ice surface here? I think I did. I went through there already. Got the blood surface here, I believe. Not. blood surfaces. This adds just another layer of effects. As far as how gory this room is supposed to be, this is the living room or a living area. So like it looks like everything's alive in here, the walls and everything. So it only makes sense that it's also covered in blood. Kind of, I guess, yes. Okay, and this is all just kind of weirdly bloody. All right. I have the surfaces here already. Perfect. I think floor 2 is relatively done. I think that's pretty much done. I don't know if I have frozen water here or not. Nope, I did not. Okay, so I'll have some frozen water. This is going to be... Oh, no, I do. Some of it looks like it's good. Kind of a huge pain in the butt here, but I want that to be a huge pain in the butt. Because this battle itself is a huge pain in the butt, which is awesome. This battle is also very cool. At first I thought the dragon was overpowered. The dragon is not overpowered. It is balanced very well. Very nice fight, I thought. If you don't enjoy the fight, well, you don't enjoy life. It was a very good fight. Just in general. Alright, we've got some ice over here. Frozen stuff. Okay, let's do that. Organic shapes. Nothing is ever a straight line. Okay. Good to go there. Where are we at? Floor 3. Okay, I'm trying to remember if I had anything for floor 3 besides this room right here, which is nothing but blood on the ground. And this is not even frozen, please. This is just an effect type thing that, again, just goes down into this drain hole. From these cages and whatnot. And there's a lot. There's a lot of blood here. They come from both directions. The meanders are thicker than the streams. Try to get that right. Okay. All right, perfect. In this area, you get to meet one of the shards, and one of the shards, he believes he could escape. However, well, you'll have to play the module to know. Okay, that's good. This is nothing here that needs surface areas. A little more blood over here. We love blood around here. Okay, and maybe like right here, just a little spitter spatter or something like that. Okay, perfect. Just like that. Okay, perfect. I think I might be done here because the rest of this is not for bleeding. The rest of this is clean. The rest of this is good. All right, finally done with that. I think I'm done AI painting. I think I'm done instance painting here too. Everything here seems finished. AI grid is good. I can finally move on to the village, where things are going to be happening, where things are going to be popping off. So we can go back to the instance painter and reimagine everything or reimage everything, and it'll all pop up and see. You won't see the oil necessarily here. You won't see the net, the web, anything. You'll just kind of see remnants of it, and you won't know how extensive it is until you set fire, which is just the best thing in the world. And same with everything else. You don't really know how these surfaces act until you happen upon them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and this is going to be saved. Oh, it is already saved. And I think that ought to be good for this stream. For everybody that's been watching, thanks for watching. Again, if you get the word out about J.J. Abrams, I will fight him. And, well, maybe I might not fight him, but I will tell him he's a hack. Okay, have a good night, everyone, and farewell.